Imagine a disaster just struck. A pipe burst, the car battery is dead, a file is corrupted, or a friend is in the middle of a complete emotional spiral. Most people panic. They Google things with shaking hands or just stand there, paralyzed. But then there's that one person. They don't freak out. They go quiet for a second, they think, and then they just start doing something about it. While everyone else is wondering why their first instinct was to cry, the fixer is already halfway through the solution. But what actually separates these people from the rest of us? Is it just experience? Or is something much deeper happening inside their brain? Once you understand the psychology of the fixer, you'll start seeing it everywhere. And you might realize that for some, this superpower is actually a very high-stakes survival strategy.
Psychologists have a specific term for this: self-efficacy. Coined by Albert Bandura in the 1970s, it's the belief that you are capable of handling what is right in front of you. It's not general optimism. It's the specific feeling of, I've handled things before, and this thing is handleable. This belief changes everything. It determines how long you persist at a problem before giving up, and how much effort you pour in when things get hard. People with high self-efficacy don't see a broken pipe. They see a puzzle. But where does this come from? It usually starts in childhood with mastery experiences. Think about a kid who wiggles a wire and the lamp turns on, or reboots a computer and it works. That tiny moment rewires how they see themselves. Suddenly, the world isn't something that just happens to them. It's something they can reach into and change. Every time they fix something, they build a data point that says, I can figure this out.
For many fixers, the drive is cognitive. There is a trait called systemizing, the drive to analyze and construct systems, to find the rules governing how things work. When a fixer sees a leaking tap, they don't just see a nuisance. They've mentally disassembled the faucet and diagnosed the O-ring before they finish their morning coffee. To them, a broken thing is a cognitive itch that doesn't go away until the gap between what is and what should be is closed. There's also the IKEA effect. Research shows that we assign more value to things we build or repair ourselves. For the fixer, that old car in the garage isn't just metal. It's an object entangled with an experience of understanding. They know how it works because they've been inside it. But there's a second type of fixer, and this is where it gets complicated. While some fix because they are curious, others fix because they are uncomfortable. To these people, uncertainty feels like a threat. In psychology, this is called intolerance of uncertainty. When a situation is unpredictable, a jolt of adrenaline sparks the nervous system. Fixing things, whether it's a broken chair or someone else's relationship, is a way to get back a sense of control and turn chaos into something manageable. For them, doing nothing feels physically uncomfortable.
Sometimes, the person who can fix everything is wearing a superpowers costume to hide a deep-seated coping mechanism. If a child grew up in an unpredictable home where adults were unreliable, they learned a silent lesson. If you need something, you better get it yourself. This often creates an avoidant attachment style. They become unnaturally good at doing things alone because asking for help historically led to disappointment or pain. For this type of fixer, competence is armor. They might develop a white knight or savior complex, trying to rescue everyone around them. But often, they are fixing other people's problems so they don't have to focus on their own insecurities or past trauma. The tell
is when you ask them to let someone else handle it. They physically cannot relax. They hover, they offer unsolicited suggestions, and they become irritable. Why? Because deep down, letting someone else handle it feels dangerous. It triggers a whisper from childhood that says, they will drop the ball. They always do. Do it yourself. This leads to the fixer's paradox. The very trait that makes you the most capable person in the room can also make you the loneliest. People who fix everything themselves often attract people who let them. They become the reliable one that everyone depends on. But because they project such calm strength, people forget they are human too. They are drowning, but they say, I've got it, because they don't know how to define connection through vulnerability, only through self-sufficiency. Furthermore, fixers often run into trouble when they try to apply mechanical logic to people. A machine has rules. You can test a hypothesis and get feedback. People are messier. Some things in life aren't broken. They are just part of the human experience, and they don't have a root cause you can isolate and repair. So, how do you fix the need to fix? The paradox is that you must recognize what you cannot do in order to be free to do what you can. Real helpfulness isn't about controlling the outcome. It's about being a loving, grounded person with good boundaries. It's about learning to sit with the unrest of a broken situation without rushing to grab a wrench just to soothe your own anxiety. If you recognized yourself in this, remember, your instinct to see the parts and imagine them whole again is a gift. It's an evidence-based faith that things can be better than they are. But don't forget to turn that instinct inward. Don't be so busy repairing the world that you leave the systems in your own life, your peace, your rest, and your connections in a state of disrepair. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't fixing the problem. It's admitting that you need someone else to help you hold the tools. If this resonated with you, hit the subscribe button. We dive into the why behind human behavior every week. Thanks for watching.